Live.
Hello.
Hi. We'll let the people get in the room. Um, Hello, everybody. We're live. We're live. This video is live now. Okay. All right, there we are. I see us, and I get the chance to see the people's comments. So, yep, there it is.
Let's see. Oh, there's your
Mhm.
invite.
Yep, you see the invite.
Yep. Oh,
Cool.
share watch party.
Yes. All right, great. So I am glad to be back. Oh my goodness. I have posted two
Yes.
videos since the last time that we were here, and one was running your own race at your own pace, and the other one is like learning to chill out. Because as you know, the week that we were supposed to go live the last time, my whole world was just, I don't know, I was discombobulated. I missed the whole day. I overslept one of those days. It was crazy. It was crazy. So I have released some videos for people to view in the meantime, but I am glad that we are back live. I am glad we are back live. Come on in the room. Please like, please share. We are live via Facebook and YouTube. Please go to my YouTube channel, Heads Up Mental Clarity, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, share with other people so that they can also have the opportunity to subscribe to the channel. We want to get this word out to as many people as
Mm,
possible. I think we have, what's today, the 7th? We have one more live this year.
one more. Hmm.
One more live this year, and then we'll be in 2021. Yes.
Yay!
I know, right? We survived. We survived. We survived with all the faculties in order. Um,
Right.
so we're letting people come in. We're letting people come in. Come on in. Let me see. I can't see the. Monique said yes, fedoras. Hey, Mom. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Christine Conway. Hey, Monique. How you guys doing? Please like, please share, please love.
Yeah.
Invite people in. We have a really nice topic to talk about. I hope my girl um, is on. Sharita, she talks about, she gave us the idea for this topic. We asked our viewers to please give us ideas for topics, and we definitely do discuss those topics when you come to us with those, and you suggest your suggestions. So please make sure you like, you share, you comment below. Um, Invite other people in, give us some topics. If it comes to mind, just drop it in the comment section. Stephanie and I are happy to be back. We're happy to be back. We're going to give it a few minutes
Mhm.
before we get started just to give other people time to get in the room. Like, share, please do. Go and subscribe on the YouTube channel, because we're there as well. I'm posting videos at there. Soon we'll be streaming on Instagram. I just need to technologically challenged, so I just got to figure out how to make that happen. Because I can make that happen through this platform. I'm just not sure how to do that just yet. But when I get it, we're going to be streaming there as well. So come on, you guys, share, invite people in. Go ahead right now and take the
Mhm.
next few seconds and invite your friends, and remind them that we are on. Go in and tag them in this video. You can tag them, I believe, in the comment section, and they'll get it. So come on, let's get people in here. Today, I don't know, let's just kind of do a check in and see where we are today. So I am Michelle, your mental health therapist. This is Heads Up Mental Clarity, and this is my girl Stephanie. A lot has happened the last time you since the
Oh
last
my
time you guys.
God. Yeah. We had surprise birthdays and everything. Hi,
Yes,
I'm Stephanie Stevens Kane, licensed marriage and family therapist, and I'm excited to be here.
yes. Stephanie and I discuss our topics together before we present them to you, and we also, just on general basis, we discuss stuff. Um,
Hmm.
hence we have this channel.
Right.
So a lot has happened. I've had a birthday, and Stephanie dropped
Yes.
me to Chicago.
Yes, that was so fun.
Surprisingly,
That
that
was
was
good.
awesome.
Good
We had an
stuff.
awesome time. Oh my God, we had an awesome
We had a good
did
time.
the photo shoot. It was
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
Um, and then we went right back to what we used to
Nice.
do. Like, yeah, like you and I, we went right back to what we used to do, and we walked like crazy people early
Oh my
in the
God. We
morning.
did like 10 miles in 3 days. That
Yes,
was like the bomb. Like,
yes,
yes, in the cold,
in the
coffee,
cold.
walked the city of Chicago, 10
Yes,
miles in 2 days.
yes,
Just
and
the bomb. That was so good.
what we used to do all the time on a
All
on
the
a
time,
daily
every day.
basis.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we did that. That was great. Then, I had my 30th year anniversary. That was
Yeah,
amazing.
that was awesome. Mhm.
My husband and my kids planned a wonderful time for me. So that was amazing. I got to admit, though, we talk about anxiety and things like that. I was anxious as all get out because I was like, look, we're not scheduled to do what? Where are we going? What are we doing? And then I surrendered that. I was like, okay, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know where we're going. That's cool. It's going to be okay. And then they put a blindfold on me. I was like, wait, what? Blind who? Like, literally, I'm sitting in the car. I'm looking at my phone and they're like, here, put this blindfold on. Okay, but I can't see my
Right.
phone if I'm blindfolded. I
Right.
know I'm off, but there's some things I can do on my phone until we get where we're going. It was like, no. I was like, okay. And then we got where we were going. First of all, I was trying to track where we were going. So we made a turn and I was like, okay, I know what street we're on. Right. So it's crazy to know your city that well. But then we got where we were going, and then I had to trust them to get to me to the door without letting me fall. So it was something, and I'm bringing mentioning it because it was something that I didn't think I had a problem with. Right. I never thought, oh, I don't really like surprises. And then
Mm,
because that, you know what? Because it's lack of control.
right. Yeah,
Never
you don't
thought
have the
about that.
power.
Never thought about that at all. And so blindfolding was like, I'm totally not in control at all of anything.
Right.
I got to say, it was amazing. I submitted to that, and it was amazing. It was an amazing day. So, we got, 2020 is handing us some stuff, but we got some good stuff that's coming
Ooh,
out of it too.
girl.
I'll let you share your own news. I got, I got excited. I got excited. I got excited. Yes. So we've had some great things to come along these last few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some things to come along. So, okay, you guys, whoever is not here, they can chime in later. Steph, a check in for you. Where you at? How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Doing some serious adjusting. Yeah, life is doing what it does, but I literally am. I have a statement that I use in therapy for my clients that are spiritual. Is God enough? And so I'm taking my own question, and so the answer to that is a resounding yes. God is enough, and so with God being enough, where I might not feel abundance because of who God is, I am abundant. So my
Mhm.
yeah, is good. I mean,
Yeah,
if I have some challenges, I say, listen, Michelle, let me just say this one time. I just need to get it off of me. Sorry, I'm going to use you as a garbage can right now. And then I'm done with it. Like, we're not coming here no more. I
right.
just need to say this. Um, and
Yes.
yeah. And so I say it. And then I'm just like, is God enough? Yeah.
Yeah.
God is enough. And I'm abundant. So I'm good. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we got to remind ourselves to take a breath.
Take a breath, like about 3 or 4. Hmm.
I know. I know. Hey, LaDonna. Who else do we have on here? I'm looking to see who's on.
Oh, my sister
Guys
just joined.
join. Hey, Lisa. Hey, LaDonna. Who is that? Christine.
Mhm.
Hey, Christine. It didn't pop up for me. Yeah. Hey, how you guys doing? So today, we're going to be talking about rejection. Dun,
Yeah.
dun. We're gonna be talking about rejection. We all have experienced, have in the past, is experiencing, and will continue to experience some form of rejection. You know, whether
Mhm.
it's a relationship, whether it's a job you wanted and didn't get, whether it's a friendship, whatever it is, we are going to experience, we will experience rejection. And so we're just kind of here to talk about rejection a little bit. Please put in the comment section if you have something to say, to add to this conversation. We would love to hear what you have to say. But we're going to talk a little bit about rejection and what that is. And one of the great things that I love about what Steph and I do is that we run things by each other,
Mhm.
right? And so, and so prior to this, us going live, we kind of talked about rejection and what that is, abandonment and what that is, and are they the same, and how are they not
Mhm.
the same, and what's the difference? And so, I just kind of love how we do that with each other. So today we're going to be talking about rejection, and I know the caption says rejection, what's the connection? Rejection, what's the connection? And so the connection to all of us is that we all have, will, and are going through.
You can't avoid it.
We cannot avoid it. It's part of life.
Mhm.
Part of life. Um, so let's start off Wes, by talking about what we think rejection is. And by the way, when you're doing your work for school, don't go and use
Don't use
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
No,
It's
I
not
mean,
even accepted on our papers anyway, but
it's not. But don't do that. When you're trying to research a thing, you're trying to research a business, you're trying to research something. Don't use like because it's full of opinion.
that's it.
I can
Yeah.
write a column and you can put in a word, and what I'm writing on is gonna and it could be my opinion. So
Mhm.
that's it. That's my rant for that.
Mhm. Well, and the rule of thumb, I don't know if it's real, but what we were taught is you can't use the word in a definition. So be mindful of that when you use Wikipedia.
Right.
They use the word in the definition.
Right.
Like
Yes. So,
crazy.
um, so let's talk about rejection. Steph, you want to start it out?
Well, one of the things that I said is that we cannot avoid it.
Hmm.
Um, and then I wanted us to talk about what is it,
Yes.
and you can talk about your the definition you found.
So when we were so rejection is the act of being rejected.
Hmm.
See why you shouldn't use Wikipedia? Because what's reject like
What's the
I
difference between a rejection and abandonment?
well, rejection is a form of being rejected, and abandonment is a form of being abandoned. I was like, Google, could you get deep? Could you just get a little deeper than that?
That's what we found this
Yeah,
afternoon.
that is what we found. And so rejection is, someone's refusal.
Hmm.
Maybe so I'll think about it in the terms of relationship. Someone's refusal to interact with you.
Hmm. I don't want you.
I don't want you. I don't want this relationship. It's refusal to interact with you anymore, or you know, um, cutting off the relationship,
Hmm. Or the
um,
connection. So
or the
you know
connection.
that yeah,
Because you can be in a relationship. I guess
this
that's
is
what you
all a relationship, huh?
right. You can be in a relationship. You got a great minds think alike. You can be in a relationship and still be in a situation of rejection.
Yeah.
You are emotionally cut off,
Hmm.
right? And so it just simply says in word or deed, I don't want you, or
I
I
don't
don't
want
want
you.
this.
Your services are not needed, so you put in an application, you don't get the job. It feels like rejection. Um,
Hmm.
well, it is rejection. I've rejected your your application or your
Hmm.
submission, so it is a form of rejection. And so when we say that we cannot avoid it, it's a it is what it is. And um Michelle also looked up abandonment, and that's missing in action. So
Yeah.
that I was saying, so that's like dropping somebody off at the train, I mean at the fire station, mom dropping a baby off at the fire station and saying, "Hey, I can't do this. Leave it there. Ring the doorbell and get away." That's abandonment. And
Right.
then rejection is
Yes.
I go and find my mother who dropped me off at the fire station, and she says, "I don't want you."
I don't want to have anything.
I don't
Don't
want to have
not
anything to
happening
do with
again.
you.
Right.
That's rejection.
That's rejection. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
we toyed around with how to come up with an example of the difference
Oh
between
my
the
gosh,
two
yes. Mm.
and explain it in a way that is understandable because
Mhm.
sometimes it's used interchangeably.
Yes, but it's not.
Right. And so that's the difference in the two. So today we're going to just talk about the rejection.
Yeah,
Somebody changing their minds about the relationship. Somebody, not getting into the college they wanted to get into. Not getting the dream job that they thought they wanted. Not getting into the club or the organization that they wanted to get into.
exactly. Mhm.
That would be rejection, and it's normal. It's
It's very
normal.
normal.
We
It's normal, and
Go ahead.
one of the things that I said that everyone has the right to make a different choice. So everyone has the right to change their mind. And so I think that what makes rejection devastating, I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but what makes rejection devastating is not so much that people get the right to change their mind, but it's how they change their mind. So if I
Yes.
change my mind and I sit down with you like an intelligent, insightful individual and say, hey, I want to do this different, or I send you a letter, a rescinding letter saying, hey, thank you for your interview, thank you for your application, however we've made a different choice,
Mhm,
that's fine. But
mhm,
for the people who are, when rejection hurts the most is when you have your heart set on an expectation, and
mhm.
then and that person or entity knows that you have that expectation. Like, say you knew you were up for a promotion, because company says, if I've been there 5 years, I
Yes.
should be up next for this position in line, and then they go hire someone from outside to take the position. That's rejection. And that
Mhm,
and that impacts your selfhood or your hearthood or your identity or your
mhm.
character in a
Right,
very different way than saying, sorry man, we don't have any more ravioli on the shelf.
right.
We don't have any in the back room.
Mhm,
So that's a disappointment. No, we can't do it. We don't want you here. I guess that's probably not a good example, but it's way different than someone saying, hey, I don't want you, and deceptively dismisses the connection or cuts off the connection from a place of deception. That person does absolutely have a right to change their mind, but
absolutely.
it's how they
How
deliver it.
they do it. How do
How,
you how do you deliver that? How do you, um, how do you deliver that, right? Um,
how do you handle me
how
in
yeah,
that?
how do you handle me? Because you get to do whatever you wanna do for your life,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you have to understand, and we're talking now in relationship. So
yes,
whether it's friendship, whether it's a romantic relationship, you get to change your mind and you get to do relationship how you see fit to
that's
do
right.
relationship because that's your right to do.
That's
But
right.
when you're handling and dealing with other people, you have, I even wanna say a responsibility, a
That's
humanity
a responsibility is the perfect word
responsibility.
for that. Mhm,
Yes, to handle people correctly.
mhm.
So if you decide, I'm going to tell you guys a
Oh,
short
can I
story.
change that word correctly?
Yep,
Handle people consciously.
there you go. Because correctly could mean different things
Could
to
mean
different.
different things to different people.
Yes,
Just being
yes,
conscious of the people you're dealing with, and be conscious of who you are and what you want that to represent, about what you wanted to say about how you handle this person says a great deal about who you are.
who you are.
Mhm.
Yes,
So handling it consciously, yeah. Mhm,
mhm. And so, oh, my live went out. So yes, so handle people consciously.
mhm,
So for instance, I have this story I want to tell, and it's a really great story. So, I heard the story about the young man. This young man was dating,
mhm,
and he decided that he no longer wanted to date this person, which is fine.
mhm.
And so he started dating someone else without telling the first young lady, and he
Mm.
broke her heart.
Well, yeah.
17 or something. And so his dad grounded him. He said, son, you get to change your mind, but you don't get to mishandle her heart.
Mm.
You had a level of responsibility. You can
Yes.
date whoever you want to date, but you have a level of responsibility to be honest with the young lady to say, here, I no longer want to be in this relationship. That doesn't mean our heart is not going to be broken.
Exactly. Mhm.
Right? And that's her work she has to do to kind of
Absolutely.
heal from that. but you have
Yeah.
a level of responsibility to do it the right way.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes. So I thought, wow. So
Heck,
that's
I'm
what we
like,
need.
send a letter, a resignation, whatever. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Don't let
Yes.
me,
And so
yeah, to walk up on, yeah, it's just, yeah, that's hard. That's
it's
hard.
just the way to do things. And some people do things and they don't do it the conscious way,
Mhm.
because they haven't learned.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
haven't learned. But that doesn't make it sting any less.
That's right. And so, what I want to say about rejection is that by the time a client or a patient gets to us, the questions that we have to help them to answer in a space of rejection is, what does what is the belief about expectation, the belief about
Mhm.
rejection? What was the
Mhm.
expectation? Was the expectation a mutual expectation? Because that matters
Mhm.
as well. And then because if it's a broken promise, then you have rejection. And then what does the experience say about me? What does it say about my personhood? What does it say
Mhm.
about my character? And those are
Mhm.
all the things that kind of does it disqualify me to do life again in this same experience?
Right.
So
Yeah.
those are all the questions that that are answered. And then when she said, well, let's do rejection, I was like, well, that's gonna be hard because ain't no DSM criteria for
Right.
rejection.
Right.
This
Right.
is processing and self introspection about who am I
Absolutely.
in this thing called rejection.
Yeah.
And so the getting over of rejection, if that's a thing, is asking, what does this
Or
experience say
healing
about
from. Maybe
healing
healing from.
from it? Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it say about me? What does it say about my character? Like the truth. And is it true?
Right. Correct. And that was one
Mhm.
of the things that I wrote down with we'll get to that part and ways to deal and cope with rejection in your life. And one of those things were um take reflecting on yourself. So let's
Mhm.
take a job, So maybe in that job that I did not get, was my resume to a particular standard for that particular job,
Mhm.
right? So when
Mhm.
you start reflecting on yourself, what is it that, for me in my life, what can I do
Mhm.
different? Not
Mhm.
for me to do something different to change the mind of somebody else.
Yes, that's called manipulation.
Yes.
Just
Just
saying.
in case. Yes. Yeah, so what can I do different? What did I learn in this
Oh,
experience?
wow.
Um,
Mhm.
but absolutely, what can I do different in this experience? And um, I'm glad that you brought that up. It's like, do I get to do this experience again, or do I shut that down? And I often say to people that I'm talking to, clients or whomever, is that like if love is what you do, then you
Mm.
do it,
Do
and
love.
don't let it be predicated on somebody else's decision to
Yes.
change their mind about it.
Yes.
And now you feel rejected, and now you're just not going to be who you are
Mhm.
because I feel rejected and I'm broken and that person decided not to stay or whatever the
Mhm.
case may be. Oh,
Mhm.
I'm just not loving again. Well, you
Mhm.
just let that experience alter who you are.
Mhm. Or reveal.
Yeah. Yes. Now that's deep.
Sorry.
So think about no, that's fine. That's fine. Hey, Antoine, thank you guys for tuning in. Please share, please comment in the section. Lisa says, come on, come all the way through with the hats, ladies.
These are empowerment crowns. Lisa, thank you
These
for
are
noticing.
our empowerment crowns. And I shared today with Stephanie that in a session where I needed to impart some
I
empowerment,
loved
I
that.
said, hold on a second. I paused, ran and grabbed my hat, and I came back, and she was like, I was like, girl, you better put your crown on.
Right.
Do what makes you feel empowered.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is our empowerment crowns. We love them. Thank
Right.
you, Camille Shante, for the
Thank
fedora.
you, Kamisha.
Shout out to personalities due to me.
Personalities. That's right.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, so we got off track a little bit. But I mean, rejection is part of life.
Mhm.
We weren't promised roses and puppy tails and whatever, however you say it, and roses.
I
We
believe in happily ever afters.
yeah, but we still gonna get some rejections.
Yes, they do come. You got to kiss some frogs before you meet your
Yes,
prince. So that's
right,
what that meant.
right. Yes, yes. But then
It's like
even in
that.
that,
Good.
in life, period, we're gonna get rejections, and I
Mhm.
guess the real question is, how do you handle them?
Right.
That's the difference between, being rejected and falling apart and not being able to heal, and
Mhm.
being healthy. Know
Mhm.
that rejections are coming in some form or fashion in some area of life, and being
Mhm.
able to heal from that.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's the importance. How do you
Mhm.
heal? Are
Mhm.
you healthy enough to heal?
Mhm.
Either answer is okay, because if you're not, then go get the assistance that you need
To
so that
help.
you
Yeah.
can
Mhm.
process it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guess what? Sometimes you're not one person, sometimes you're not, and sometimes you are. It just
Mhm.
depends on where you are in life at that moment.
That's right. That's right. The messages that are said to you. I had an experience that someone had, growing up, it was really bad, super abusive, and then they had yeah, as a youngster had an abusive connection, and then had another abusive connection, and then they had another abusive connection. But do you understand that people did not and a rejection, and they did not associate the first rejection to
With the
the
last,
rejection of all the other rejections until this rejection right here. Then it realized that I'm always being rejected. I was rejected by 28 years ago. And it just
yeah,
brought it up. It's like all of it just came flooding in. It's just
mhm.
it's so amazing how life brings us circumstances that we got to talk about here on this platform. But
And
yeah,
then
that was
that's how healing, and
right.
that's where the healing starts, right?
Yeah.
When
Hmm.
that thing happens,
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
healing starts.
Because you now are bold enough, if I may say so. You are bold enough and strong enough and wise enough to recognize it for what it is. That's why
Yes,
you can
yes,
handle it now. Hmm.
yes.
You can
Yeah.
handle it.
And so, yeah, so when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Hmm. Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
you're ready and it appears, then you start to work through whatever that healing process is for you.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you start to answer the questions like, what does this experience say about me? Who am I? And you start getting real answers, like the truth.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because we get to decide if we want to hide our real selves,
Right.
like we said. Am I going to no longer be the love bug that I am because of this experience? Am I no longer going to be the amazing interviewee because
Yeah.
so and so let me down? Am I no longer worthy because a Fortune 500 company said no? So now
Right.
I'm not going to go and interview someplace else because this company said no, and that disqualifies me in life altogether.
Right. And what if, Stephanie, what if the rejection means that that wasn't for you? Whether it was a person, whether it was a friendship,
Uh,
whether
that's
it was
exactly
a
what it
company.
means. It's a detour, which means protect. Man, I gotta put my glasses back on.
Go ahead. Go
It's
ahead.
it's a detour, a protection. It's a part of our evolution, a part of our
Yes.
soul's journey. So it is.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. It's a part of the evolution. It's a part of the coming to the fullness of who we are.
Yes.
Is God enough place? Like
Mhm.
this, what I call rejection. Is it rejection or am I being protected?
Mm, that's good. Because maybe you didn't need that thing, that person, that job, or whatever, or the
Hmm.
people on that job, or whoever in your space.
Whatever.
One of my friends that talked to me about, it was years ago. She went to school for communication, and once she got into the field, she quickly learned that it was not the field she wanted to be in, and she left it
Mm, don't you love it?
because of the things that she would have to compromise
Mm-hmm.
based on her spirituality
Mm-hmm.
and her morals, right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps if she had not gotten that position and it was a really nice public position, perhaps had
Mm-hmm.
she not gotten it, she would have felt very rejected. But what she
Mm.
learned is just because she wanted it did not mean it was good for her.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so she was healthy enough to walk away from it. And so I look at rejection, given that example, that sometimes maybe we're not healthy enough.
Mhm.
So God, the universe, decides that this is no. The answer is no.
Mhm. Or we're better than that.
Yeah.
I'm better than this.
Hmm.
I'm selling myself too short.
Hmm.
That's
Yes.
my take on it is that this ain't God's best for me.
I know that's right.
This is
That's
not
my
God's
take
best.
on it.
This is not God's best for me. Okay.
No, no. And you know what? And this is a little bit off topic. When you know that it's something is God's best, it's gonna churn in your inner being
Mhm.
until you
But
do it.
sometimes you get a churn. Let me just say, because for
Don't
years,
devil's advocate. Let's have
you get a churn. Don't
okay.
mean it's God's best for you. So
True.
when it
So what is
leaves
it? When do you
and
know?
rejects you, then you be like, no, that's probably God's best for me.
So then it could it be lust? I don't know. That's a whole nother topic. But yeah. But
No,
so just take those rejections as God protecting you.
I do.
It either it's the no, like no altogether, or it's a not right now.
Not right
No,
now. The delay is
not right
not a
now.
denial.
Delay
Mhm.
is not denial.
Mhm.
Yes. Kamisha said, "Hey, y'all!
Hey,
Hey,
Kamisha.
Hey, Kamisha. Hey, Max. Max is tuned in. Hey, Aaron.
Hey,
Aaron is
Lex.
tuned in. Yes. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, share, and go to YouTube and subscribe to Heads Up Mental Clarity.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I mean, rejection has a lot of parts, could have a lot of moving parts. And so how do you handle rejection? How do you cope with it? How do you deal with it? First of all, understand that rejection is not necessarily about you. When in a
It's,
relationship,
it's
rejection is not
never
necessarily
about you.
about
It's
you.
never, please hear us. It is
Yes.
never about you. Unless you have lied and manipulated someone to try to
Mhm.
change their mind about their circumstance or change their mind about you, unless you have had your hands in there trying to manipulate and agitate and
Yes.
make things happen, it is never about you.
It's not about you.
Yeah,
It is
it's
about
never
the
about
rejecter.
you. It's about the person who's changed their mind.
Yes.
They changed
It's
their
not
mind. They got a right to change their mind, as disgusting as it might be sometimes.
right. We all have that right, right? So one of the things to do is to think about is to not suppress, don't suppress your emotions.
That's good.
Sit in it. It feels like hell. It feels like what it
Yes.
feels like.
Hmm.
It does. It feels
Hmm.
like what it feels like. And what we say, even like in grief and things like that, sit in
Yes,
it.
it's a
Just
form
don't
of
stay
grief,
there. You get to
right?
sit in it though. It
Hmm.
is a form of grief.
It's a form of
Absolutely.
grief.
It's a
Hmm.
form of grief. So you sit in it. Sit in those don't suppress them because suppressing or ignoring the pain will make things worse. It's coming
Yes,
back.
yes,
It will
yes,
manifest in ways
yes.
that
And
you don't
something
want.
else, anger, bitterness,
Yes. I hate all men dogs.
addiction. Hmm.
Yeah. And so sit in them for a little bit. Get some assistance if you need assistance with processing.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, don't tell the lies that you tell yourself during that. Well,
Hmm.
I should have done this. I wasn't good enough. I whatever.
Had nothing to do
To
with you.
have nothing to do with you. Seek clarity. Either from from yourself, like, and not everybody's going to give you closure, right? But seek clarity on this rejection. Like, what was this about?
Yeah,
What was it about? What did I learn from it? You know,
yeah, yeah.
9 times out of 10, rejection is handled in an unhealthy way, which means
Hmm.
the person that's doing the rejecting is not going to give you an explanation.
Right. Unless, of course, it's a job. So, is that a rejection or a denial? Maybe that's a denial.
Maybe that's a denial.
Maybe
Yeah,
rejection from employment is denial. I don't know. It's still rejection,
it
but
feels like
yeah.
rejection.
Hmm.
It definitely feels like it, right?
Mhm, mhm,
We alluded to it earlier, like reflect on yourself.
mhm.
Do I need to
Always,
write my resume differently?
always.
Do I need to have a different approach? Maybe you do, maybe you don't.
Maybe you
What
don't. I feel
right?
I say you don't. I say do it your way for a minute and then go back. Don't immediately change who you are in the midst of a rejection because
Because let me
you
tell you, if you don't, you'll keep doing the same thing. So you
mhm.
may as well do it your way and see if it works.
Yeah, do it your way anyway and then see what happens. Mm-mm.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, people are blind. Jennifer Houston got a song about being invisible. And she in a
Yeah.
whole relationship and she talking about being invisible. So don't change when you feel
Yeah.
like you've been rejected. Not immediately, you know.
Right.
Um, pay attention to
Yeah.
who you are. Like, what does this say about who I am? And is it
Right.
true? Is it true? Is it true that that I deserve to be handled and treated this way? And if the answer is no, then you know that it's not you. It's the company or the person.
Right. And if you don't know, go get some help.
Please get
Because
some help.
somebody might say yes to that question.
Oh
Somebody
yeah,
might answer yes to that.
a lot of
If
people do.
if you answer yes to that,
Hmm.
get some assistance.
Hmm. Hmm.
Get some assistance. Meaning go with a therapist to process through
Hmm.
that emotion and why you feel like you're deserving of specific treatment.
Hmm.
It might not be about you, but about the person. We said that it's about the other person. It's not about you.
I wish for all people to immediately think that unless that person gives a specific explanation, like we hire someone else or whatever, to always think, automatically think this is their stuff, not mine. I
Right,
wish that upon the entire planet that everybody, when you are rejected, understand that that is their choice. They have a right to change their mind, and that is their stuff. It is not mine. Because when we start to own other people's choices, is where the unhealthiness comes and the rejection
yeah, yeah.
becomes so real.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And not all rejection is bad. Sometimes, like we said, sometimes somebody, they just change their mind, and it doesn't have to be a negative thing. How you respond to it, depends upon whether it's a negative or
Says
positive.
more
It's how
about
you
who you
respond
are.
to it. Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. We get it confused, as we said in the beginning, with abandonment. They're two different things. And understood again, I don't know how many ways or how many languages we can say this in. People get to change their minds and do something different.
Hmm.
What
Hmm.
if I was the rejecter? What if I was the one doing the rejecting?
Ooh, yeah. Come
So
on.
if you are the rejecter, this just dropped in my hat, literally. If you are the rejecter,
No
please,
pun
ma'am,
intended.
please, sir, do it in the correct way. Because you
Yeah.
get to change your mind. You
Yeah.
do.
And be
What if
mindful of the impact, whatever it is. Even if I say no, you can't have any gum. You cannot
mhm,
have any gum.
mhm,
Why? Give them an explanation. Everybody deserves an explanation if they ask for it. Can I
right,
have an explanation as to, what this is about? As opposed to like, yeah, no, I'm just done. Like, I'm done.
right,
I'm done. Yeah, except if you're in an abusive relationship, you do not owe an explanation to reject an abuser.
right.
It's not safe.
Disclaimer.
It's not safe to,
That's the reason, and you don't have to give it
right. Hmm.
because that's already right out front. You
Yeah.
know
If
the
you're in
abuser.
abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, you do not owe an abuser, someone who is mistreating
Psychological
you.
abuse.
Yes, you don't owe someone who is mistreating or mishandling you an explanation to reject them.
Mhm.
You just because that's for your protection. You're saying, for your own safety. But we're
Right,
talking about people who are, blindsided, clients who are like, if I don't get this job, I don't know who I'm going to be. I don't know what I'm going to do. What am I going
right,
to do? if so and so doesn't hire me, I've worked my whole life, the entire my 4 years in college. I went to school specifically to work for Walt Disney. And if they don't hire me, all of this is for nothing.
Yeah.
That happens.
And
That
then you have to examine if that is really the truth or just something that you've been telling yourself all
oh,
these years.
that's my question. Is it true?
Right.
And who
Is
said you was gonna forgive?
right.
Is it true?
Um,
Wait,
we said it before, sometimes it's a blessing in disguise.
it is. It
It's
is.
not
It
for
is.
you. There's something else greater,
Yeah.
different. You don't belong there. You belong somewhere else, whatever the case may be.
And I'll say that that statement, I know, to someone who has experienced rejection, is just like someone who has lost a loved one and somebody says, well, this was, it had to be God's will. That's truth. But the timing of it can be really off to make
Hmm.
that statement. So,
Right.
to the person who is experiencing rejection right now and hears that, we do have compassion for
Right.
your experience. So we're not trying to be cavalier with anybody's the impact that rejection has had on anybody's experience, especially right now during the holidays. I'm like super sensitive to that, so I want to extend, my
Absolutely.
my condolences, my understanding. But the facts are the facts. But I just want to say that we're not negating people's current pain that they're
Right.
experiencing right now. We're not minimizing it or saying, whatever. I just want to say that because I know that if you're going through experience with rejection right now, to hear that, well, maybe this is just not God's best, blah, 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 it's kind of like, oh, well, doop, I'm off of here, you
Right.
know.
I don't want to hear that right now. Right.
So we do understand and get it.
What can you do to it's kind of like because it can lead to rejection, can lead to depression.
Depression. I want to talk about that.
And yes,
Oh, go ahead.
rejection can lead to depression. And so the same things that you would do in depression to help yourself to cope and to have some healthy coping strategies are the same thing that you would do here. Like find something that you love to do
Mm-hmm,
and focus on it.
mm-hmm,
Find something that you love about yourself and focus on that and not the rejection.
mm-hmm,
Making sure that you are healthy and whole, mind, body, and soul. What
mm-hmm,
does that mean? You know, if that means meditating for you, if that means taking walks, if that
mm-hmm,
means yoga, if that
mm-hmm.
means working out, if that means
Eat
diving
right.
into that hobby
Mm-hmm,
or that talent that you've always had.
mm-hmm,
The same things that I will tell you to do in a space of depression. Granted, provided it is not clinical depression and you need to see a doctor, these are the things that I would tell you to do as well,
mm-hmm.
right? Because it is a sting and it's going to sting for a while. But what can you do to build you in the meantime? Go ahead, Steph. You said you had
So,
something to say
so
about
the
depression.
depression piece in rejection is the part of the brain neurologically that says, I don't want to accept that. So it's the denial piece. And
Mhm.
when I am in rejection and I deny the experience of the rejection, however we deny it, denial leads to depression. Denial is depression because
Mhm.
depression says, I don't want to face my reality. I don't want to experience this the way that it is. I want to experience it a different way, and so I'm depressed because I'm not experiencing this in the way that would make me not depressed.
Right.
And so a lot of times when someone denies the rejection, even though the rejection is there, their heart is saying, no, this can't be. Something
Right.
has gone wrong. The brain is registered neurologically. Something's gone wrong. Something's gone wrong. No, no, no. And then the depression comes. So
Right.
when we get in a space of acceptance, then we can negate the, and it's the same for grief. When we get in a stage of acceptance, then we can avoid the depression as well. And so doing those things that Michelle listed as, to move yourself beyond the state of depression,
Mhm.
it will push you out of denial. But understanding, if you stay in a perpetual state of depression, it's like, what truth am I denying? And
Mhm.
yeah, so that's all I have to say.
Yes, absolutely. We said earlier to kind of reflect. And so you want to learn from that reflection.
Yes. Come on,
You want to learn from
please.
that reflection. It's not the easiest thing to do when we
Hmm.
talk about reflecting. But I wish that we could wave this magic wand when we get in such a space that will make people just zone in on themselves, period,
Hmm.
point blank, and nothing and nobody else.
So I've
Just,
got a few minutes.
yep, we do.
I'll tell you why we don't do that because I'm an attachment specialist. So we don't do that because when we have felt bad on our journeys as little people, we
Mhm.
weren't allowed to own our feelings. We weren't allowed to be sad. We weren't allowed to feel rejection. So we
Right.
were told and made to get over it or stop your crying. I'm gonna give you something to cry for, or go upstairs, get out, get out of my space until you overcome this because I said no. And instead of allowing us to sit in our rejection and say, I
Mhm.
understand, I know this is disappointing, giving me
Mhm.
language to
Right.
understand what's going on for me. When you don't learn how to deal with rejection, or when you do experience the feeling of rejection and you are told that your feelings are bad about
Yes.
them, then we
Yes.
don't get permission to turn inward and to just, be okay with ourselves. And we have to unlearn that behavior because it's okay to have a negative experience with rejection, but we haven't learned to trust ourselves. We haven't learned to allow ourselves to feel what we feel and snap back.
Mhm. Right. Right. Yes. And that doesn't always look like don't feel.
Yeah, no.
It could really look like what's wrong with you.
What's wrong with you?
Now, the connotation of that question lets me know that I'm doing something wrong right
Wrong.
now.
You better know it.
Yes. Yes. It lets me know that I'm doing something wrong. It signals my brain as a kid that I'm doing so. Oh, let me check that emotion.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm probably not supposed to do that, or why you crying, or stop
Mhm.
crying all the time.
Mhm.
You bother to ask what's wrong? Like
Mhm.
what's really wrong? Not what you think is wrong because you're too busy to dig deeper,
Mhm.
but what's really wrong.
Mhm.
What's really wrong is not the no, I can't have the gum. What's really wrong might be the tone that was used.
Yes. For the no explanation.
What's really wrong could be, kids do things for different reasons. And so, um, no, you can't come in here or whatever. What's really wrong may not be
Oh man.
no, it could be, oh, I was trying to be close
Wow.
to you. Ouch. I was trying to be close to you. Right. So, so it doesn't necessarily look like for everybody out there that's saying, oh, I would never say that. Well, it may not necessarily look like that directly
Mhm.
to a kid. It's our perception. And so, the how the no is said and not getting to the bottom of it and the insinuation in
Mhm.
your tone
Mhm.
that what I'm feeling is not okay.
Mhm.
Let me just say, people, parents, grandparents, whomever's out there, the kid grows up to be an adult with attachment issues.
Ta-da.
They grow up to be adults without attachment issues, and that's why I have this issue with, um, oh, they just spoiled. Oh, don't pick them up. Well, I was in your womb 9 months. I was cuddled, and then I come into this big, open, scary place, and you get other people to say to you, because you innately in your nurturing being want to cuddle too, but you get other people to say that's not okay, don't do that.
Mhm.
You know
Reject
that's
them. You need to
that
reject them. They need to cry.
and and the babies feel the rejection. I'm just saying the
Mhm.
babies feel the
And
rejection.
I'm the blame for my rejection. You're spoiled.
Yeah,
I'm responsible for that rejection. I'm the cause. I have to own that rejection. I'm
as
spoiled.
an infant, as an infant.
Mhm.
I
And
get
those
it. You
feelings
learn
and this is your
nurtured.
body. Mhm.
You do learn behaviors, but there are ways to deal with that rather than rejection,
Mhm.
because that's what that is. Mom abandons the baby by taking it to the fire station and dropping it off and never to be seen again.
Mhm.
Mom rejects the baby when the baby is crying and could just want to be close because that's what my environment was like for
But
9 months.
see your
Well, mom,
face. You know how you when you see
just
them,
see your face.
just show your face and they stop crying. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me bring this
There
carrier
you
back
go.
here with
There
me.
she goes. She didn't leave me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully the face don't look like this. What are you crying for? I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh my
That's my
God.
little opinion. Hey, Paulus, thank you for joining. Hey, hey, hey. Paulus said Cam Newton is gonna be mad.
You say what?
Cam Newton gonna be mad.
Oh.
So I'm just, Max said I'm rejoicing and I'm rejecting and rebuking. That's my brother-in-law. You gotta
I
love
know.
him.
Thank you, Max.
You gotta love him. You gotta love him. Guess what, Max? You get to do that. You get to reject. Just do it in a proper manner, sir.
That's right. And
Yeah.
review. Thank you in advance.
Right? Absolutely. So, we could say a whole lot more. I don't know if you have more, Stephanie. We could say a whole lot more on rejection. We could say a whole lot more on what to do and overcoming rejection. Um, and again, don't ever say you won't be rejected because we go through rejection every single
Every
day.
day. Yeah. Yeah.
If you're rejected from that job that you really didn't care about and you experience healthy rejection, it's like, yeah, all right, whatever. Okay. Next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And let me
So
say this.
yes.
So if you have had an experience of a healthy rejection and you said, yeah, that don't matter, whatever. Remember that experience. And when you get to a
Mhm.
hard one that you say is hard, because it's all a human construct. So when you say that it's hard, go back to the one that wasn't hard and practice that feeling. Just keep
Yes.
practicing, even if you have to every minute of every day. Like I remember when so and so told me they didn't have no told me I had to leave a store for whatever reason because I didn't have a mask on. I don't know, whatever is easiest for you. But an easy rejection that you just kind of let it roll off of you, remember that rejection. And when you get a so-called hard rejection, remember that experience and put
Yes.
it in its place because you know the uh the way that it's handled or whatever, the body still remembers it as the same. So you can
Right.
decide to tell the body we're gonna make rejection horrible, we can't stand it, we're gonna go
It's a
into
choice.
denial, and then we're gonna be depressed, or we can say, I can't cuss on there. That hurts.
Right.
Ouch. And
Right.
then keep it moving.
Yeah.
You just practice it, but it's a practice.
It
So
is.
so if you can remember the ones that weren't so hard and painful, and remember how it felt in your
Yeah.
body, so that when the hard ones come, you can pull from that. And we haven't been trained to do that because we've been trained that, oh, that's way different than the other one. But to the body and to the brain, it's all the
It's the
same.
same.
Only the
Mhm.
story that we put behind it that makes
Is
it more impactful than the other.
right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I don't see any questions in the comments. If you guys have questions, please drop your questions. If you have topics, please drop your topics.
This was a really
We
good topic. Thank you, whoever
It
suggested.
was a really good topic. I appreciate. I hope she's on, and if she's not, I hope she gets a chance to watch later.
Hmm.
This is a really good topic, and she may, if she's not on, she may have questions later about it, and we'll revisit. We'll do that too.
Hmm.
Share this for anyone that has not was not on with us tonight. Share
Hmm.
it so that they can watch it, and if they have questions, they can send it in to us. We are today not really scrambling for time. We are right on time. We are right on time. Usually we kind of got to cut it off. There's a whole lot more we can say about this topic,
Oh my
but we want
goodness,
to make
yes.
sure that you get the basics.
Mhm.
Disclaimer, we are just simply sharing our opinion. We are both licensed counselors. However, um, we do not profess to know everything, and we're sharing our knowledge, our education, and our experience.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you may agree, you may disagree. That is, your option. But
Yeah.
we here to share it, tell
And
it
our
like it
humble
is,
opinions.
in our humble opinions. I was going to say, tell it like it is, or at least the way we think it is.
Exactly. I love it.
At least the way we think it is. That's how we're here to bring that
Right.
information.
Exactly.
So again, share it. I am Michelle Bird, your
And
mental
I am
health therapist.
Stephanie. Go ahead. I'm
This
sorry. Then.
I am Michelle Bird, your mental health therapist, and this is,
Stephanie Stevens McCain, licensed marriage and family therapist.
and we are at Heads Up Mental
Mental
Clarity.
clarity.
You can
Yay.
find me on Psychology Today. You can find me on ChicagoCompassCounseling.com. You can find me on Facebook, Michelle Wallace Bird. You can find me on Instagram, Mrs. Bird LPC. And where can we find you, Steph?
Psychology Today, Lamplight Counseling Services in Independence, Ohio. Um, Definitely on Instagram, S McCain MFT. You can definitely email me at let's talk at gmail.com. And yeah, yeah. And if you do Psychology Today, you'll find me there, and
Oh,
all of my
mhm.
contact information is there, and the practice information is there as well. I just want to say that I am so honored and grateful for this opportunity that life has afforded Michelle and I, and even for her to ask me to
Yeah,
do this. I just cannot say thank you enough for this message and for the opportunity just to share like that. I am
yeah,
grateful for corona virus for so many things, and this just happens to be one of them. And so I just want to deep bow to you, my sister. I love it. I love it.
yeah. Thank you. And thank you for coming on. I just had an idea that we talk all the time. We have
Mhm,
dialogue with one another. Let's share this with everybody. Let's just do
mhm,
this. It's something that I don't see done all the time.
mhm.
Usually, so I want to be consistent in doing it. And thank you for saying yes to the
Yeah,
opportunity to be
so
done and to do this. This is Heads Up Mental Clarity. Thank you guys for
guys.
joining. We will be back here again 2 weeks from today.
Mhm.
Um, and we appreciate you guys. Please share, please like, please go to YouTube, Heads Up Mental Clarity, and subscribe. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Night
you.
all.
Bye.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Bye bye.
Namaste. Bye.